All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm back for another shave. It's been, I think, maybe over a month since I've had a chance to upload a official shave video on my channel. So if anyone that's following maybe on like the Damn Fine Shave forum, reason I've been kind of absent on YouTube is I had some computer issues, and it's kind of taken me a while to get a replacement setup. So it's I'm kind of using something temporary right now, but I'm hoping that I can get another computer before the end of the year. And anyway, this shave, just like all my other ones, may go a little long, but I kind of thought today's shave would probably be a good time to kind of recap different things that I don't know, changed, or different habits in shaving that I've just kind of, I don't know, looked at differently, or new things that I've tried. And I'll make mention of a couple different members, maybe in the forum, or a couple people that I know on Facebook or YouTube. So anyway, the Damn Fine Shave forum has been a forum that I've been active in for, I don't know, the last couple years, 3 years. And so more recently, I've been kind of hanging out in the lather shots thread. And so one of the things that I've been doing for a while, and I've been sharing this more and more, I think this year or last year, is, I'll show you guys real quick. You guys have probably seen this, but I have this big old tub of Kokum Butter, and then I have a tub of mango butter. So Panificio Vericino started selling mango butter as kind of like a pre-shave or post-shave product years ago, as well as they had released a soap that uses mango butter. And so when I got that, I found that I really liked the soap base, and so I started using mango butter years ago, I think, for both kind of like pre and post shave. So the reason why I bring this up is that people have been either seeing me or trying it themselves, and basically what I do is right here on the lid for the Kokum Butter, this more white right here is just a little small piece of Kokum butter. This is mango butter. So what I do is, for instance, I'm going to use this soon. This is one of my mentors in pottery. This is one of his 80s yo-yo jars. I keep my Mirto di Sardegna in here. I'm going to be using this pretty soon, so I'm going to be shaving with one of the other soaps, but this is the same process. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this, but a lot of people are, I don't know, they think that this is some crazy thing, but I know not too many people do it. So look, I've got that amount of butter, that's both. And if I were to shave it with this today, I'd smear that on, rub it in. And let's say I shave with this, like, I don't know, later this week, put the bloom water on, just a little bit of hot water. Let's say I'm going to shower first, then shave. I just put that bloom water on for, 10 minutes. And then when I get out of the shower, you guys are going to see me pour this off. So Dave in Kentucky, I've been chit-chatting with him here and there. But I was reading one of his threads, and I'm going to tease him a little bit. I think he was saying that this is re-engineering the soap, which I don't think he's teasing me, but I do kind of find it funny because I'm barely putting on any vegetable fat before this soap. So I'll kind of make some more comments about whether I really think that makes a difference or not. So you guys, here I have Beta 4.0. This is the original Manna di Sicilia from SV. So obviously you guys can't see, but look, this is how much bloom water I have. I put on very little, and that softens it up. So now I'm going to load. Now, Ollie's someone this year that I've been able to kind of become friends with, just kind of casually talking about shaving. And he kind of asked me, what's my bowl setup? I don't know if at one time he was thinking that I'm a bowl lather or something. So I want to show him real quick. This is a brush that you guys have probably seen me use a lot. This is a High Mountain White or a silver tip, or 3-band is really what I think the most important thing is. But I'm going to really shake out just about all the water. I'm going to load with, it's going to have a wet knot, but not too much extra water. So I apologize that this is kind of the impromptu video, but anyway, I find that maybe I'm usually loading most of these SV soaps for about 30 seconds. If you guys want to see, I don't use a lot of pressure. I sometimes use circles, and then I might switch to going back and forth. I guess I kind of just have one rule. Like right now, this is starting to develop a little bit more of a proto lather. Basically, my one rule is I'm always blooming the soap, but once I feel like I see a little bit more of that paste, or maybe not paste, but it just looks a little bit thicker than proto lather, then what I do is I dip just a little bit of that bloom water on the brush. It's going to be kind of hard to show you guys, but just a little bit, and then I load for maybe another 5 or 10 more seconds. So I'll just go to there. Okay. So give me a second here. I scrape this. Andrew on DFS, he's one of the moderators. He and someone else, I know Dave, had kind of said, you know, hey, we're seeing your lather photos. Can you guys, you know, can you show us how you do your lathering? If you guys just look at any of the previous videos, I don't really ever do any bowl lathering. There's reasons for that, but basically what you guys are going to see me do here is no different than any of my other videos. So a couple of the key things. I generally am using a less dense 3-band brush. And I'm not speaking for anyone, but you know, just in my years being in this hobby, I think that, you know, it's still become more and more popular to have a pretty soft brush. People like the bigger brushes. I generally kind of top out at using like a 24mm brush. A couple of my brushes might be a 25 or a little bit larger, but I don't really like a dense brush, and I think just inherently, since I like a 3-band over a 2-band, the brushes that I really enjoy using, they tend to have more flop. So I share that detail with you guys because for me, when I face lather, I prefer a softer brush so that I can spend, you know, at least a few minutes developing the lather. And one guy that you guys might know on YouTube, Anthony Esposito, he's primarily a straight razor user. He's made a comment a lot of different times about people that face lather for a long time. So one thing that I did a month ago while I was kind of on break from uploading videos was I was working on, while I was face lathering, how much quicker can I pretty much get to the consistency of the lather. The reason I prefer to face lather for, you know, let's say 3 minutes is all of these, what I believe to be is the active ingredients in some of these different soaps. That is my prep time. I don't want the lather to just sit on my skin and then for me to shave. I want to spend the time really hydrating, you know, the soap's formula, and let that, like for instance, Manna di Sicilia, Fraxinus ornis is an ash tree sap resin. Hopefully this isn't lagging out. But it's a highly softening ingredient, and so for me, I don't want to bowl lather and then slap it on the skin. I want to work that active ingredient and let it have time before I hit my face with, you know, the double edge, so that that active ingredient has time to, you know, soften my skin, soften my beard. But I guess I kind of have, just naturally gone to what Alessandro has suggested. You don't really need too much beyond the bloom water. If you're using a badger brush, you guys would be surprised. I've really been using this new PAA synthetic brush quite a bit, and this is good, you guys. So anyway, for those of you guys that are interested in why I do that mango and kokum butter, I've been using that on my face as a daily moisturizer for years, and for as little as you guys saw that I put on a puck, it probably doesn't do that much, but I don't think that there's that much that's changing the lather. Most of these SV soaps are kind of like a limited, you know, super fatted soap. A lot of the American artisan soaps have, you know, the tallow, lanolin, you know, a ton of the different exotic butters and the formulas, and I just think that the face feel or the super fatting profile is just quite a bit more prevalent than the various soap formulas like SV. So as much as I may throw those pictures up in the lather shots thread, you know, I totally get why someone that might be a straight razor user, you know, is going to say the amount of time spent, you know, making lather like this and for how thick you get it, it's not necessary. I pretty much am in line with agreeing with that. I just, like I said, I believe that some of these active ingredients, they kind of benefit my skin by being able to have some extra time before the shave to work. Okay, so this was 2 days beard growth. The razor that I'm using is the original carbon stainless steel base plate. This is the 0.68. And I'm using a second use Red Pack Personna. But, you know, a couple things that have changed this year. I was not able to daily shave at the beginning of the year, but been able to kind of dial in a little bit more using these razors, kind of what my limit is and what seems to work best for me. So that's been one of the main things, is I can now pretty much call myself a daily shaver. Before this year, there's probably close to 3, maybe 4 years where 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I was really only using SV soaps. This year, off the top of my head, I was given Mystic Water kind of a revisit. I was using a couple of different Ethos shave soap samples ago. I got a chance to shave with what is it, Santa Maria Novella Tobacco Toscano cream. There might have been a couple other ones, but even just that amount of variety was a big change up from what I was doing for, like I said, 3-4 years. And I know that I've said this before, so I apologize for those of you guys that have heard it, but you know, I really made some strong distinctions on the fact that although I use SV more than anything else, I'm not making the sale to anybody that I think that they are the best universally. There's a few different reasons why I use them the most. That was another reason that this year was kind of neat. I had really was getting a lot of consistent results with the shaves. Primarily, like I said, using these carbon razors. I wasn't getting issues with irritation. My shaves were getting closer. So I was kind of experimenting, especially during these hot summer months, with focusing a little bit more on enjoying the variety of the stuff that I had. So like I was really playing around with testing out a lot of the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements aftershaves. And, I've really enjoyed kind of revisiting all the different fragrances they have to offer. The performance of the PAA aftershaves, I think, are really good. I would say they're, for my experience, my skin really does like them. I would probably grade them, like an A for me. My skin really does well with them. But the performance and the face feel of the SV aftershaves is just a little bit better. So if you guys haven't heard me mention, as much as I like a lot of the SV shave soaps, some of the aftershaves I kind of even like even more. So this Manna di Sicilia, the matching aftershave, it's hard to beat. The only one that beats it, in my opinion, is Tundra Arctica, maybe a Puntia, but I think that I could happily shave with the rest of for the rest of my life with either of those soaps. They definitely lather quite a bit differently. So real quick for the second pass, this is the Plus Plus base plate from Carbon. I'm going to do my second pass across the grain. Obviously we'll get a little nick, but pulled the trigger on a couple new soaps recently, and just kind of out of curiosity. One of them was the other formula for it's not labeled Ethos, but if you guys know who Frank is, he's the man that makes the Ethos shave soaps, but he's got another one called Dragon's Beard, and I really was happy with how the Ethos shave soaps worked, but I'm gonna make the hope, or make the assumption that he's gonna stay in business for the time being, and I'll pick up maybe like his Lavender Supreme sometime in the future when I kind of get through killing some products. The other thing too was like, for those 3-4 years that I was using SV almost exclusively, very rarely was I switching to one of the new SV soaps without using it continuously for like, sometimes like 8 shaves in a row. But over summer I was actually switching up and using a lot of the different SV soaps. So yeah, just so much has changed. I mean, I don't know if part of it is, I tend to limit myself, and I guess you could say like just have a little bit more of a rigid way of kind of choosing what I want to use. But the main thing for me is just trying to achieve consistent results. I mean, I'm really not having to worry or think too much about how to use the carbon razors, and that's what's really been great, is just how easy everything's been without having to think about it. So I'm not gonna, I'm curious. Since I'm almost done, I'm just gonna pull this out. Let's see. Yeah, this is looking just a tad dry. So, but if you guys saw my little post in the carbon thread, I think I'm gonna make the decision to probably sell off all of my hardware, and chances are I'm gonna get rid of even this stainless steel carbon set at some time, and I think I want to spend some time next year just, I'm gonna get a titanium carbon, just maybe have that, and maybe one other razor, I don't know. But I'm just one of these people, you guys, that I make no judgment on any of you guys that really enjoy rotating or having a collection of different razors, different gear. I guess for me, I'm just not into having a bunch of stuff that, I'm not gonna plan to use. I'm trying to think, with my Badger brush, I don't have too many Badger brushes. I think I've got maybe like close to 12 right now, but 3 of those are just working about this year on kind of, as I wasn't getting them to plan to shave with them, but a couple of them I bought just to use as testers and play around with bleaching the knots. So that's another thing. I was really using this brush and one of the other Shave Revolution brushes like very, very exclusively. And so I'll probably pare down, get rid of the shave brushes that I'm not going to use. I probably got 7 that'll keep, and I really don't want to keep buying a bunch of Badger brushes. I think the amount that I have, like 7, plus the two synthetics that I'm really enjoying, they've I should be good for life. Good for life, I had kind of said over summer I'm going to retire this brush, and so I was using some of my Badger brushes that I hadn't used in like 3 years. So yeah, I mean, that's, so much has changed. I mean, used brushes that I wasn't planning on using. I pulled out a gel tip one that I wasn't planning on ever using until I really needed to, or whatever. But and if some of you guys have followed my videos, I watch my videos at least once or twice to kind of just, I don't know. I'm sure anyone that uploads videos knows you're at least once going to say something wrong or make a contradiction or make an ass of yourself somehow. But I primarily have the best success using Badger brushes. In my opinion, they do feel the most luxurious for me. But just because that's my preference, I'm not going to tell anybody, especially a beginner, that if you choose to use synthetic, boar, or horse, that you're missing out on something. For me, I think I really have an issue with the fact that I had spent so much money trying all these different Badger brushes, and I know for me, if I would have had the knowledge back then, knowing that you could go to Sally's Beauty Supply, pick up 2 or 3 products, and bleach, your Badger knots yourself, and pretty much make whatever natural brush knot that you have as soft as you need it, I would have saved so much money. So, again, Neil at Heritage Shaving, he had shared that, his technique for, softening up the brushes, and if you want to make them gel tip, that's great. But the 2 synthetic brushes that I have, the PAA, it's like a brown horsehair looking knot, easily best synthetic I've ever used. I'm going to keep the version 1 Plaisson synthetic from however many years ago. I love that. I call it the floppy mop. So as much as those 2 synthetic brushes are not as luxurious as my other Badger brushes, I can't tell you guys that I think that the Badger brushes work any better. I will say that, right now when I'm done with the video, I'm gonna have to clean this out, and I don't mind doing that, but if I'm in a rush and I need to jam out like right after I shave, using a Badger brush, I don't want to let this sit here for a couple hours or a whole day. Will it ruin it? I don't think so, but I take pretty good care of my natural hair brushes, and with the synthetics, I treat them like absolute crap. I lather with them really hard. If I need to rush or I just don't want to clean it, I'll leave the lather in it, and sometimes I might come back to it a couple days, 3 days later, and then rinse it. I mean, they're cheap, they're workhorses, and I just don't find that there's nothing bad that happens to them. So I don't think I'm going to be wanting to buy very many more Badger brushes in the future. I will say if this can happen, and I'll probably shoot Aldo at the Varlet or Varlet a message, if I could have like one more dream brush, and I don't really care how expensive he would charge me, I want a silver tip knot made by Aldo. Aldo's kind of like my hero for different reasons, but he's no longer the only person hand tying knots, but I've had quite a few different, interactions with him, and I think he's a pretty cool dude. But I like to give him my support if I could in the future, and, see if he would be capable of making a knot. Another thing about brushes, I don't really want to get any more brushes because I still got a tub full of 2-band hair. I don't know if I have the opportunity to make 2 knots. I kind of have a feeling I do. So, that's a goal for next year, is kind of finally get that done and over with, figure out how to tie that knot. I did find a old post on DFS with somebody that, I don't know how I missed it, but someone found a US supplier that was selling the silver tip hair in the loose bundles. And this guy, I think he had been in shaving for a little bit, so I assume he kind of had an idea of how a knot performs. But he made a super nice, very nicely shaped 3-band brush in a bulb. And I was like, damn, if he can do it, I'm assuming there's a lot more people, if they wanted to start making knots here in the US. It's not that they can't do it, but there's, I think, different things that kind of hold back depending on what your state laws are, how easy it is to be able to import the hair, and how hard it is to do the forming. So I think that the people here in the US have to kind of just figure out their own technique and go with it. It's kind of the same thing with soaps. I'm kind of over buying soaps and collecting them. Obviously, as I kind of cut through more of my stash, I'm more than happy to, try some new companies, or, buy some of the new scents from the different people. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe next year or a year after that, I kind of dabble in just making some soaps for myself and playing around with some different formulas and trying my best to make a hard soap. So that might be something in the future where you guys may see me switch to, you know, like an artisan or a vendor account or something. So anyway, so yeah, just lots of different things going on with shaving this year. But I've been really busy working, so I apologize, like I said, if you know you guys haven't seen me on here, or if I've been slow on replying to the threads. I guess just to wrap up, you know, primarily right now I'm having to use an iPad, and I hate touchscreens. I'm kind of like a old man in some senses, but I don't really get along well with touchscreens, and so being without a laptop the last like 6 weeks has really kind of slowed down my ability to kind of stay connected. But I've been slowly working through kind of getting back online and everything. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm sure that I'm going to be uploading more shave videos, but I appreciate everyone on the forums, on YouTube, on Facebook, if you guys get a chance to see this. But hope you guys are staying safe, staying well, and I will catch you guys soon. Have a good shave the next time you guys are shaving, okay? So take care.